You're listening to Exposure. It is XFM. I'm John Kennedy, and that is Sleigh Bells with Born to Lose, the current single, but they have another on the way. Well, the other has already come out this week. I played it on Monday night's show, and I'm very pleased to say that they've just kind of popped in. Derek and Alexis just hanging out in town at the moment, came in for a bit of a chat. Welcome back to XFM.
Thanks. What's going on?
Well, I've just been hanging around waiting for you to turn up. Or is it the other way around? Thanks so much for coming in, and it's great to see you. And what's been going on? Obviously, you've been working on this new album, Reign of Terror.
Yeah, pretty much just been holed up in the studio and finished mastering it not too long ago. And yeah, just wrapping up artwork, stuff like that.
Yeah. How long did it take?
About 4 months of, I think it was like July 1st, we were done by Halloween. Yeah. Right. Like that.
Mm-hmm. And how did you approach it this time round? I mean, with the experience of having taken the last album out on the road and played across the world with those songs.
It wasn't dissimilar, really. I mean, we just had more time. Like with Treats, we were in for 7 weeks, and then like tour date snuck up on us, and we didn't get to finish. We still had a bunch of songs and ideas, so we weren't really rushed this time around. You know, we actually finished early. So
yeah, but Derek started talking about Reign of Terror like the first month of our Treats tour. He was like, so it's a new record, and we were like, but we just finished the last one, so
but that's often the case.
It was, you know, it was a long time coming.
Yeah.
At that point.
Well, I seem to remember when you came in before talking about extra guitar.
Yeah.
On the second album. Yeah. You needed another guitarist, in effect.
Yeah, well, we're actually going to have an extra touring guitarist, but that's definitely a marked difference with this one. This feels like a guitar record. I mean, Treats was like mostly based on rhythm, and that was kind of like that's where my head was at. But this time around, I don't know, I just kind of got back into guitar. I was super out of it for a while. That's why I got into production work. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of felt like playing more guitar this time.
Yeah. Do you think that was possibly a result of having toured quite a bit with that last record? That you kind of got back in the swing?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's just, it was convenient, and I don't really know why. It's just kind of like, I just warmed back up to it, you know? I think also I was maybe less afraid of being pigeonholed as just a guitarist. I felt like confident in my production ability, or at least I was a little more confident than before, which was to say I had none when I first started. So, you know, I was like, I kind of felt like just kind of thinking more in terms of songwriting and less about just strictly like rhythm, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And how did that affect you,
when we were on
Alexis?
tour, it was kind of just like in your hands every day. You know?
Yeah,
it was like
exactly.
It's like right there
just
to write with.
proximity, really,
yeah.
you know?
It's kind of inevitable. If you're not sat at a computer or in front of a big studio desk and you've got a guitar in your hand, you're going to think into
and I was sick of working in Logic, and I was just kind of like using my my iPhone like voice recorder. So that meant that it's just like me sitting down with my guitar and just kind of humming. I'm tone deaf, but you know.
One day Derek and I could just make a record of our iPhone voice recordings.
I'm picturing two iPhones talking to each other with various different ideas, kind of looking at each other, you're holding them at each other, and suddenly there's a new album.
Yeah.
Are you a hummer into your iPhone then as well?
I'm a hummer. Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
we'll be like on the bus or anywhere, and I'll just like, it'll be really quiet, and I'll just like put it up to my mouth.
No,
so then when
no.
I go to listen to it the next day, I'm just.
Well, every once in a while,
it.
I'll like look over, and she like has her mouth covered, and then she makes these crazy eyes at me, like, "Don't look at me," and I know like what she's doing, and I'm like, "You freak."
And are you recording lyrical ideas or just melody lines?
Melody stuff, melody stuff.
And where do the lyrics come in? Is that when you get into the studio itself?
Yeah, I'm still doing most of the lyrics, and I don't know. I usually wait till the last minute. That's not to say that I'm like flippant about it. I mean, I care, but yeah, I don't know. That's usually one of the last things.
And do you sit down on a table with a blank piece of paper?
I mean, I don't really know. It's one of those things. I feel like I have amnesia every time I have to write a new song, because I completely forget how it happens, you know? Even if it was like 2 days before, I'm like, how am I going to get this done? And then somehow it just always ends up happening. I don't mean to make it sound like magical, but you know what I mean? It just kind of happens. I don't know.
You have a lot of stock though. Like we'll sit down when it comes time to like work on vocals and whatnot, and he'll like pull up his laptop and there'll just be like tons of stuff, and he'll kind of like go through and be like, well, what if we put this? And I'll be like, well, we should put that there, and we combine that. And what if we add that? So it's like a very...
Yeah, I guess I just have, I don't know.
I think we always end up surprising ourselves that there's like...
Yeah, I've just got stuff written down all over the place, like anybody that writes songs, you know. It's on my phone, on my computer, scraps of paper, just the usual, kind of whatever I can get my hands on.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, the phrases that I've been struck by so far seem to tap into a kind of classic pantheon of phraseology, in that we've just heard "Born to Lose." And you're not all in black leather. Alexis is in black leather tonight, but Derek, you're looking more, I don't know, high school, college kind of
collegiate.
Yeah, collegiate.
Did you see this is a custom Letterman?
Oh, really?
I know
it's got Sleigh written on it. Wow,
pretty tough.
Sleigh Bells Letterman. Yeah.
That is impressive. Will you be selling them on tour?
I mean, I think I'd feel terrible because these things cost like the cost on them alone is just insane. We'd have to sell them for like $350 or something. It's just not really feasible.
Maybe one day.
Maybe someday. Yeah,
people might go
do like a limited run or something in collaboration with maybe a label or something. But I'm not sure. For the merch booth, it would be kind of weird.
For those who are interested in this thing, it's a kind of classic baseball jacket in green, and would you call that beige, or is that?
This is gold, and then the sleeves are old gold.
Right. And then written down the left side is Sleigh, S-L-A-Y.
Yeah, and then the M is for Miller, my last name.
Right. See, I remember years ago buying, one of my first trips to the States, buying a kind of similar kind of jacket, and had Kennedy written on the back. I was really impressed by this. It was navy and white. And I thought,
and you found it that way?
Yeah, and it was really cool. And I thought, that's brilliant. And I tried it on in the shop, and it was a snug fit, but I thought that would be okay.
Yeah, I've got a bunch.
I took it home, and then, 6 weeks gone, I realised I'm never going to wear this just because it just doesn't fit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I had a bunch made, and they just make me feel comfortable, so that's usually what I try to wear.
Yeah. Alexis, you got your name in studs on your jacket.
I did just paint like a custom like Sleigh Bells studded vest. So, but this one, no, this is not no names in studs, but still studs.
There was, I think it was around the last tour, wasn't it, with the Yeah Yeahs, and Karen O had.
Oh yeah, she has a great one. Yeah.
She had a rad jacket.
Everything seemed to be based around her jacket.
No. I love that jacket.
Yeah, a good jacket goes a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not worry about songs here.
Well, I know it's classic inspiration, I think, along with Born to Lose.
Yeah.
And Reign of Terror, though, is quite ominous. Yeah. I mean, you come in and you're all smiles and you're lovely people, and yet the music is really in your face, and it's kind of scary at times.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I mean, it's a nice combination. But Reign of Terror, I mean, that implies dictatorship. It implies some dark pieces of history.
Yeah. It's definitely not a historical reference like the Robespierre thing. It's just more of a personal thing. It's an extremely personal record, and Reign of Terror is more. It's just sort of about like a chain of events that occurred. Yeah.
Which you're not going to go into.
It wasn't a lot of fun, to be honest.
Right.
But that's why, but it's all there on the record, so don't have to talk about it. That's the best part.
Yeah.
I don't know how to talk about it. So.
It's in the music. Just listen to it. But you see, I have to ask a few questions just because I only have the 2 tracks to play. Because you're kind of like teases. You're teasing us here.
I want to listen. I'd leak the whole thing, but
right?
my label would have my head.
But I love the fact that those 2 songs are the first 2 songs that are out there. I mean, obviously it was intentional, but like, I think they're, in my mind, they're both very different, but like 2 very solid representations of what you're going to get on Reign of Terror.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we didn't want to wait, and I couldn't. Like, our label really wanted to wait until after the new year to put a track out, and we just insisted on having something before everyone went away for Christmas. That's why this is like the first quote-unquote proper single, Comeback Kid, and Born to Lose was just sort of a concession that the label made. I mean, happily, but it just took some convincing. We just didn't want to wait, I'm not really into bands waiting like 3 or 4 years, and I couldn't even wait an extra month before getting new music out because, once it's finished, you just, you want to share it, so.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And it was great to get that track before Christmas, because in some ways, I mean, apart from the name, Sleigh Bells, but I think you're synonymous with Christmas to a certain extent, because I remember hearing you for the first time just before Christmas. I think it was like 2009 or something. And,
cool.
and you're a band who've used the communication tool known as the internet very well, because that's how we all kind of first heard you, was through these tracks that you were giving away for free.
Yeah.
And it served you well too, because that was a kind of almost like a calling card, wasn't it? That people heard these tracks and they were intrigued by this sound and by this band.
Yeah,
and you're here now with your second album about to come out. 20th of February is when Reign of Terror will start, and it will be Sleigh Bells dominating 2012 in a nice way.
I like your attitude.
Yeah, and so on stage, when you tour, and you're coming back at the end of February to play a number of dates into March in Europe, so it will be 3 of you on stage, is that right?
It will be, yep.
And who's this extra guitarist? I think
you'll have to wait and see.
Oh, okay. So Slash will be joining you.
Yeah. It's either Slash or Eddie Van Halen. We're not sure yet.
It's a nice combination. No, they'll probably alternate. No.
Yeah. We'll see.
We still need to put them through a couple more auditions. Yeah. Figure out who's right.
It's a friend of mine. Yeah. So
Eddie.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, that's what I meant, Eddie.
And
me and Eddie sit around and drink box wine together.
He'd come swinging in on a rope, flying over the crowd.
I would be way into that.
I think that'd be great.
I mean, we're not above being ridiculous, so
hence
I could see some wire work in the set at some point.
Why not? Alexis, I'm sure you'd be up for that. No, you're taken to the sky as well.
It's like the Living on a Prayer video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. So Come Back Kid, I'm about to play it, and that is the first official single from Reign of Terror. And then after that, when you've got this kind of short tour in Europe, you're planning to spend more time around us, or have you got a lot of commitments back in the States?
Definitely. We're just still in the process of confirming dates and whatnot. So I think we're going to go back to the States, probably go to Austin for South by, and then do a big... Well, I say big, but a spring tour in the U.S. So we're working on all that right now, and then we'll be back over here for the summer, probably maybe do some festivals. But, yeah, I'd like to confirm all that, but it's just still all up in the air.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, but it's good to know that these are plans that you're thinking about.
We're definitely coming back. I mean, I think we toured like for 16 months on the Treats record, so we're planning on doing a lot of work, just probably up until, I don't know, mid-2013, and then we'll make another record.
And the big question for me was, I remember we talked about it last time, was you had made a decision that you weren't going to do any radio sessions around the last...
Oh, for Treats, yeah.
For Treats. Because you felt that you weren't able to, or you wouldn't end up doing it the way you wanted to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This time round,
we can actually... the songs actually work in a different context like that. Mostly because they were written on guitar. That's the main difference. You know, for Treats, it's like I'd have to sit here and like pound on the desk, and she'd have to yell or something.
They're much more melodic too. So there's like
stripping a song down. Usually, you know, it's like you're just gonna break it down to its basic chord progressions, which there kind of aren't any chord progressions on Treats. There are a few, but this is different. A song like Born to Lose, for example, there's actually like a quote unquote clean version. I don't want to call it unplugged, you know, but. Yeah, we can actually do stuff like that. We're looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, consider yourself booked. We just need to find the dates to work that, because your schedule's pretty tight. I mean, I'm looking at this kind of February, March tour, and every day is pretty much planned. You need a couple of days either side so you can do nice radio sessions for
people. Tell me about it. I'm looking at this guy, right behind us.
We're all giving him evil looks.
He's an unpopular man right now.
Well, I really hope it can happen, and please come in and do a session when you're back in the country.
We'd love to.
And fantastic to see you both again. Thanks so much for coming in.
Cool.
Thanks,
John.
us.
Thanks a lot, man.
I'm going to play Comeback Kid now. Is there a Comeback Kid in your minds?
Us.
Yes.
It's totally like.
Yeah, I mean that song's just kind of me. It's just like trying to, I don't know, get it together. Really. It's like one of the few really positive songs on the record. So it's the newest one, and I feel like that was kind of us, like,
yeah, it was the last
putting the darkness behind us, being like, shrugging it off, being like, all right, now that that's behind us.
Excellent.
It's like the big XL moment. We're like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, here we go.
We finished it. We had like 2 more days. We're like, let's do something different, and then so this is what we made.
And now we're already talking about the third record.
Yep.
Good news. Well, when you come and do the session, you can try out a couple of new tracks if you want. No.
Yeah, maybe.
We wouldn't mind.
I'd be down. I mean, I'm all about doing new stuff, so.
Totally.
Good. Excellent. Well, they are back, and we are very pleased. Thanks so much again, Alexis, Derek.
Thanks, man.
And here they are, Sleigh Bells, Comeback Kid, Exposure, XFM.